I think that, to me, was one of the moments, being up close and personal with all of it, that was like okay.
The New York Knicks just closed out one of the most historic playoff runs we've ever seen, and it all started in Game 4 of the Atlanta Hawks series.
The Knicks were in Atlanta last night to take on the Hawks. Series tied at a game apiece. It did not go as planned. New York was down 18 in the first half. They were 0 of 12 on contested threes early in the game, but fought back in the second. However, the last Knicks possession went awry. Could not get a shot off, and the Hawks win.
First of all, Shay, with all due respect, I know you're wonderful doing your job. I don't need you to remind me of that. Leave that to me, please. Leave that to me. Don't tell the audience that Mikal Bridges was scoreless. Leave that kind of nugget of information for me. Janae, love you dearly. You know I love seeing you this morning. Move out the way. Let me tell y'all something right now. Change is coming to New York City. It's going to be another head coach in New York City if they lose this series.
Now, it can be easy to forget how serious it was for the Knicks to fall down 2-1. Yes, they were 2 close games they lost, but they shouldn't have been losing those games to the Atlanta Hawks. Changes need to happen. We could all see it watching the games. The Knicks were not taking advantage of the areas of the floor they needed to. Changes need to come. Stephen A. Smith was losing his mind, and we've heard at length of many of the different changes, but listen to how Landry Shamet explains the shift in thinking that happened, and specifically the moment when he knew it was all going to go the Knicks' way.
There's a point and a fork in the road where you can decide to say, all right, like, maybe this ain't it. Like, maybe this isn't our year. Things aren't going right. Things feel weird. Or double down and go the other route, which is the route we went and rattled off, 11 in a row?
Yeah.
Something
13,
like that. 13 in a row.
Right.
So,
but you made a big adjustment. I mean, there was,
offensively, we changed like some very foundational things. Defensively, we changed some foundational things, not to bore you guys with but like things you don't normally see that late in the year. Like, that's when we started really playing through Cat a lot too, like being our facilitator,
right.
Throwing him the ball, and his assist numbers went through the roof. He was incredible.
Right.
And we hadn't really asked him to do that all year, you know? So like to then just say, okay, felt like this is what we got to do. And to his credit too, a guy like him who is a generational talent, for us to say like, hey, we don't need you to score as much. Like, we need you to get everybody else involved, and for him not even to like bat an eye. I think that, to me, was one of the moments, being up close and personal with all of it, that was like okay. Like, even as weird as it feels, he had a chance to take it the complete other route and be like, man, this is some bullshit. Like, I'm not here to, I'm a guy. Like, I can be a guy. And he was like, no, like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it to the best I can. And he was phenomenal.
It's moments like this, Game 4 of the Atlanta Hawks series, that turn playoff teams into champions, that take teams that had contender status or hopes and forge them into the team that is going to be resilient and do whatever it takes to win the game. Karl Anthony Towns, his ability to be the playmaker which everything ran through was essential to the victory, but it was his attitude, it was his willingness to take on any role needed to win that turned the tide in the Knicks season.
Vincent, number 4, checking in for Atlanta. Another one of the additions later on in the season. Back cut Anunoby. Inside. Got rid of Johnson for the dunk. O'Connor defending on Towns. Karl Anthony going left.
By Pat. Going left, the defender on your right, and you're having to shoot back off the glass.
Yes, it's true. Without the clutch shooting of Jalen Brunson, the Knicks don't win. Without the 11 for 12 three-pointers from Landry Shamet, the Knicks don't win. Without the touch and tip-in from OG and Anunoby to come back from a 29-point deficit in Game 4 of the finals, the Knicks don't win. But maybe more than all of that, the Knicks don't win without Karl Anthony Towns taking responsibility to say, hey guys, I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to set my ego aside. I'm going to do what is needed. I'm going to sacrifice for the betterment of the team. And the crazy thing is that the Karl Anthony Towns we saw in that Hawks series and into the Philly series was the very game-changing cat that people knew he could be, but he just hadn't been playing that way. It became unguardable to the point where, yes, if you look at the finals, some of the games that Cat had in the finals were not as impactful as these other games, but it was his attitude that shifted the whole narrative.
That was huge.
You've played in a lot of playoff games. You've been in a lot of competitive series in different places. To your point about a switch like that, both from a strategic standpoint, but even just like what'd you win game 6 by 60 points, 50 points?
That was absurd.
Like, have you seen that before?
Yeah.
Like it just goes from like, oh, we're kind of down to like the game is over with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter.
I've seen blowout. I've been a part of blowout closeout games, but on the wrong side twice, and but never like that. And this, I think, with Atlanta, I think what it was, they were like, they're still a young group, obviously, and that was kind of their first time getting in that position and pushing the top dog to its limit, really. And I think, because I've been on some of those teams as well, where you kind of like ride that high and you get like so invested in it, and you reach a point where maybe like you tapped it out a little too early. And they were like, they gave us probably some of the toughest challenges of the whole playoffs. So they were tremendous. But there's a point in that, like, you talk about like going into a game like that and you want to steal hope, like, and that was our whole approach to that game. Come in, throw our best punch early. And, hopefully that level of hope, you don't give a young team like that confidence. And so I think we did that, and it just snowballed from there. I've never seen that before. That was wild.
And from that moment, from that game 4 shift, we saw time and time again, this New York Knicks squad was now unstoppable. They weren't just beating teams. They were destroying teams. They were blowing them out. The closeout games in the Cavs series and the 76ers series weren't even close. And we still see some more moments of adversity. But the difference now is when the Knicks were down 22 to the Cavs, people realized, the Knicks looked around at each other and said, we can do this. We believe in each other, because of the attitudes like Karl Anthony Towns that became contagious across the locker room. So we can remember all kinds of things from this Knicks run. We can remember OG's tip-in. We can remember Landry Shamet's three-pointers and Jalen Brunson's 45 points in the closeout game in San Antonio. But we also have to remember how we got there, and it all started with Mike Brown going to Karl Anthony Towns and saying, hey, we're going to switch some things up. And Karl Anthony Towns stepping up to the task and doing what all great leaders do, sacrificing for the betterment of the team.
See my teammates being special and to be able to get them involved is something I truly enjoy, even more than hitting a shot. Just to see people like OG consistently making the right read on the cut, the back door, whatever the case may be against the defense, and doing something special is, it brings me joy and it brings me the most energy back.